Church, I have a powerful announcement for you. It's time for our fall semester of spiritual education classes. This semester, we are featuring classes on the Bible. And so we have two powerful classes for you. On Tuesdays, we begin a new Bible series. So join us for Bible 1. This is an introduction to the Bible. Some of the most powerful stories ever told are in the Holy Bible. In these stories are formulas for overcoming your life challenges. Whether you've been reading these stories for years or if you've never picked up a Bible before, this workshop series will explore the stories in a new way and provide a framework for studying scripture and extracting what you need to win in your own life story. This class takes place on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Pacific. I would love to have you join this class. It's going to be very powerful. On Sundays, join us for the last class in our Bible series, Bible 6, which focuses on the New Testament metaphysical interpretation. This is the second part, and it is from Acts through Revelation. Learn the tools and techniques to find the deeper meaning in the scriptures in this hands-on metaphysical Bible study course. We will cover the metaphysical teachings of Jesus and focus on Acts through Revelation. John Downey III is teaching this class. You don't want to miss it. It takes place on Sundays from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be such a fun fall semester as we explore the Bible. And so I want to invite you to register today. Class registration is open. We have a seat for you. These classes are virtual. Classes begin on Sunday, September 18th, and you can register at upchurch.org. I can't wait to see you in class. Let's study the Bible together. Are you interested in living a life of increase, overflow, and more than enough? I know that we all want to continue to expand and to have more money in our lives so that we can do the fun things we want to do and take care of our responsibilities. The only thing between you and your money is your prosperity consciousness. And so we want to hit head on how to build a prosperity consciousness so that you can live in the overflow. I want to invite you to Worshiping in Color next Sunday. I want you to plan to be in person with us at UPCHURCH. We're going to have a powerful experience together, and I encourage you to come in person and bring some cash because we're going to have a special money blessing. So I want you to come prepared for this experience. Worshiping in Color is one of our special services. We raise money for the church. We basically come together as a community in fellowship. But the most important thing for this particular one is that we're going to break through some of those financial strongholds. We're going to break through some of those places where you just can't seem to get to that next level. I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some tools in order to do that special work within your soul, because we all deserve to live in the overflow. Won't you join us? 1 p.m. on Sunday, this coming Sunday, September 25th. We'd love to see you there.
Good afternoon, UPCHURCH. Today is the last day to sign up for your small group for Adventure in Faith. So if you haven't already done it, go ahead and click the link for the Google form. You will find it in the live chat. You will find it in the newsletter. You will find it in the show notes. And if you don't find it, email us upchurch@upchurch.org and we will send that link out to you. Please go ahead and complete that because we're going to start to break up the groups this week. And you want to make sure that your name is on the list so that you can get into the group of your choice. Adventure in Faith is our opportunity as a spiritual community to recommit ourselves, to recommit ourselves to our spiritual community, to recommit ourselves to God. We're working with a powerful text by Florence Scovel Shinn called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And the theme is It's Your Move. It's your move. The ball is in your court. And it is your move right now that determines what the rest of your life appears to be.
Yeah, we the Henleys, and we gonna praise the Lord with you right now, y'all. Yeah.
Welcome to Understanding Principles for Better Living Church. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful that you chose to invest this time with us. I am excited for what is to come, and I'm excited for the breakthrough that I know that you're going to receive during this service. I am excited for the transformation that is bound to happen, because that's what happens when you gather in the name of I Am. So you're in the right place for the right time, for the right message. I am Reverend Sherri James, and I'm the senior minister of this community. Couple of housekeeping things. I always do this because it does make a difference. You can see that in the growth of our channel. If you are watching on YouTube, would you go ahead, like this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done that, and then also get involved in the live chat, and also leave us a chat on the main comments. All of those things make a difference and help other people find our content. So thank you in advance for that. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing. Go ahead, like that page. Make sure you join the page to get notifications, or follow, or whatever the name is, the nomenclature is now. But the point is set yourself up to get notifications when we put out new content. All right, let's take a moment to open today's service in prayer. I want to just bless this gathering. I want to recognize that there is only one power, there is only one presence, an infinite intelligence that knows all, that understands all, that is in all, through all, above all, beneath all, everywhere evenly present. And this is the reality of what we call the universe. One verse, one mind, one law, one love. And we recognize right now that we are one with that one. We are one with that infinite beauty. We are one with that infinite intelligence. We are one with what we call our Father, Mother, God. That we're not separate or distant. We've not been left to figure it out on our own devices. But we are always in the loving embrace of our Father, Mother, God. We recognize that we are so much more than we appear to be in these human forms, that we are spirit being ourselves. In this consciousness, I ask for a service that transforms not just those of us that are gathered here, but those that will come years after this date and find this message. It is my prayer that the Spirit move through us, as us. It is my prayer that wherever you may be hurting, that you find relief. That wherever you may be troubled, that you find transformation. That wherever there is chaos, the harmonizing principle of love comes in and smooths it out. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. I know that you always hear me when I pray. And so I relax. I allow this prayer to take on all the tones of reality. Thank you, God. In the name and in the nature and in the consciousness of I am. This prayer is so, and so it is. And amen. Understanding Principles is a Bible-based New Thought church. Very important to say, because there is such thing as just New Thought. But you have stumbled into, walked your way into, been dragged into, however you got here. A New Thought community that bases its teaching or takes the Bible as its primary text. And so our sermons sound a little different than if you went to, say, another center, another New Thought center, because you're always going to hear us reference back to Scripture. I think sometimes in a way we're a great bridge for those that may be coming into New Thought for the first time and need that anchoring of a Bible. But make no mistake, those 5 principles that undergird all New Thought are what guide us. That God is all there is, that you and I are divine, that our thoughts create our world, they have value, they have power, that we have the ability to practice being the presence of God. And in fact, we are commanded to be the presence of God. And then finally, the law of demonstration. Everything here is about practical teaching. Put it on its feet. Put it on its feet. Does you no good to say you believe it if you cannot make it work in your life. Everything that you hear, you need to be picking pieces out of it to put into active practice in your life. And so that fifth principle is the law of demonstration. It's these 5 principles that unite us with all the other New Thought traditions. We have a specific vision for UPCHURCH. Our vision is to love every person up to their true identity and to their highest potential for the greater good of all. And our mission is clear. We are on a mission to express God's divine love through teaching spiritual principles, worship services, fellowship activities, and community outreach. Now, our theme this year is reconnect, reset, and reaffirm. And where we are coming to is AIF, Adventure in Faith, where it is all about reaffirming your divine identity. Really reaffirming who you are and whose you are. Stepping into the confidence that you are God in expression. But before we get there, we got to complete our conversation about miracles. Of course, we have our in-person service that's focused around prosperity. Reverend Sheree says, bring some cash. We're going to put a blessing on your money. I will be actively, while the service is happening, I will be in Atlanta. So those of you that are in Atlanta, please look out for communication that I will send to you on where we will be meeting to gather together for a watch party for the service. It is going to be an incredible end to September. But today, I want to talk to you. I want to complete our conversation about miracles. And my sermon is entitled, God Has Your Back. And so one of the things that we talked about is how to get the seed out of your problem. How do I begin to pull that seed out? And that really is about relying on your intuition, really about being able to turn to your inner guidance. And so we're going to have a conversation about that. All right, I'm going to pass the baton now to Reverend Sheree, and I'll be back with the word.
Welcome. On behalf of the amazing ministry here at UPCHURCH, I'm Reverend Sheree, and I want to welcome you to this service. I love that we have this experience where we come together and we can be together no matter where we are geographically. We can even be together when we're not in the same time. There are those of you, many of you, who will watch this recording, and we want you to know that you are welcome right where you are, right when you are. We love that this community has expanded space and time, so to speak. Yes. So if you are visiting with us for the very first time, or if you've come and visited here and time again, I want to invite you to open yourself up to membership in UPCHURCH. You see, I know that you're going to hear something that's going to move your soul. There's going to be something that's going to be exactly what you needed to hear. There's something you're working with and you're looking for those spiritual tools. We're all searching for something more. We want to express more God in our lives. This is a perfect place to plant yourself so that you can grow spiritually. If something moves you, if you have that feeling that I want to join in with this community, I want to encourage you to take that first step and just email us at upchurch@upchurch.org. Just let us know you're interested. We'll give you your next steps. And better than that, I want you to know that we have an orientation for membership coming up on October 15th, Saturday, October 15th. I'm almost certain that's the right date. It is that Saturday. We're going to have our orientation for spiritual for membership. And so you'll get to ask questions and get to know what our principles are. Just basically any question, anything, because we believe you need to understand a church before you join it. And that's what the orientation is for. If you choose to join UPCHURCH, we have a beautiful sacred ceremony, our spiritual baptism, that will follow that next day. Now, both of these experiences are virtual, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you would like to join UPCHURCH, just let us know you're interested and you can become a part of our ministry. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at our orientation. I'm ready for your emails though. I'm ready for you to say, I'm interested. I'm interested in taking my spiritual journey at a deeper level and joining into this powerful collective. If you are part of the collective, all right, so my community out there, I want you to let's introduce ourselves to one another, because what happens is that we may sometimes forget who we are throughout the week, but here's where we remember who we are, and let's introduce ourselves to one another by our spiritual name. And so I love your name given by your parents, but let's introduce ourselves by our spiritual names, and you do that by putting I am next to a quality of God. I am plus a quality of God. That's your spiritual name. I'll go first. I am love. Tell me your spiritual name. Go ahead and enter it into the chat. Put it in the comment section, or speak it out loud. We just want to make sure that you take a moment to participate in this atmosphere of growth, of expansion. And so I'm just so grateful as I see the names coming in. We'll be acknowledging you and just appreciating that you see you for who you are, so that we can see you for who you are. And we might need to remind one another sometime about who we really are. So I love this practice. Let's continue doing it. Let's continue to add it into the chat. Don't miss the opportunity to affirm who you really are. I'm going to turn the service over now for our daily inspiration. It's going to be so wonderful. And I'll be back with you for the affirmation of power. See you in a moment.
Sunday, September 18th, 2022. God's Ambassador. Each country has a high-ranking diplomatic representative appointed to serve in another country called an ambassador. They are special representatives of the entire government. We too are ambassadors or representatives. Each time we express wholeness, love, or as a peacemaker, we are representing God. Just as large corporations seek ways to effectively market their goods and services, God has designated each one of us as marketing directors. We are walking, talking advertisements for the power of God. Our primary purpose in life is to express God as health, wholeness, and love. Our lives must reflect the goodness and the blessings of God in our walk, our talk, and in our actions and reactions. We are God's ambassadors, as well as its marketing directors. It is a tall order, but worth the effort when our actions lead others to the awareness of the God presence in them. Our goal is to be the best and do the best as we can to fulfill our assignment of expressing God. Proverbs 13:17 in the King James Version says, "A faithful ambassador is health."
It's time for our affirmation of power. This is where we use the power of our spoken word to speak the word of truth for ourselves. Now, this month, I've been working with a special prosperity prayer written by Charles Fillmore. It's an adaptation of the 23rd Psalm. It's going to come on the screen. Let's affirm together. The Lord is my banker. My credit is good. He makes me to lie down in the consciousness of omnipresent abundance. He gives me the key to his strong box. He restores my faith in his riches. He guides me in the paths of prosperity for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk in the very shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your silver and your gold, they secure me. You prepare a way for me in the presence of the collector. You fill my wallet with plenty. My measure runs over. Surely goodness and plenty will follow me all the days of my life, and I shall do business in the name of the Lord forever. And so it is. These are some powerful words for us to work with to grow ourselves. Because let me explain to you that you are meant to be prosperous. You are not designed to suffer. And so we must remember the truth about ourselves. We're in a season of harvest time. So I want you to get ready for the harvest. We're going to have a powerful experience next week in our worshiping in color experience. And we have classes that are starting today. We have 2 Bible classes this semester, all on the Bible, right? So the first is Bible 1. That takes place on Tuesdays at 6:30. I love to see you there. And John Downey the third is teaching Bible 6 today. He's focused on the New Testament from Acts through Revelation. I'll be focused on just the Bible stories all over. We'll work with the entire Bible and work with the stories. So enroll in class today. Just wanted to plug that before I turn it over to our worship team. But thank you so much for hearing. Thank you so much for taking action. Thanks so much for speaking the word of power. We're all blessed by it. I'll see you soon.
I close the door and I go to a secret place. I claim my openness so that I can see your face.
You whisper in my ear, I have more for you. The great I am has more for me to do.
Deeper,
Deeper,
bathing in your sweet love, go deeper,
deeper,
believe before I receive, learning to pray, ocean deep, learning to pray, ocean deep.
I give you my heart, my mind, and my soul, all of me. Let your spirit find full expression through me, through me.
You whisper in my ear, I have more for you. The great I am has more for me to do.
Deeper,
Take me ocean deep, deep red, ocean deep, deep red, ocean deep.
I love that song so much. And it's not just because I had a hand in writing it, but the idea for Pray Ocean Deep came in a time when I was really exploring what it means to pray and really living life beyond just the mundane aspects of life. And it's my contention, it's part of my theology, my God talk, that there is a level of living where your needs are being met, your basic needs, right? I need to pay the mortgage, I need to pay the car note, I need to put food on the table, right? Those things. But there is a level of living that is beyond the mundane of life. And I believe that opening yourself up in the way that we are teaching you to do is a part of that. And the idea of the ocean as a metaphor for praying, that if you have ever done anything, if you ever looked and gone in the ocean and gone anywhere beneath the surface, there is an entire kingdom. Like, there are types of aquatic life that are still being discovered. There's the aquatic life that we're aware of, and then there is a level of aquatic life that we haven't even tapped into. It's so amazing. And so Ariel was right. It's the kingdom under the sea. It's a whole other world there. And so praying that when we get beneath the surface of help me pay my rent, help me pay the mortgage, help me raise my kids, that there is something else. And it's amazing. And it's as vast and as wonderful as anything else that's out in the universe. And I want at it. I want access to that. So that's where that thought of praying ocean deep came from. That's what that was about for me. Thank you, Noriko. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone who had a hand in putting this song together. This was an amazing work of art, and I am honored to just have been a part of it. The title of my sermon today is God Has Your Back. So I think in this conversation about miracles, and so technically this is a part 3. Shout out Shamika. This is a part 3. God has your back. Understanding and opening yourself up to miracles is about realizing that you have unlimited access to God. Unlimited, unfettered, unchained, uninterrupted access to God. And so my thesis for you today is your connection to the field of potentiality, aka God, aka the universe. Your connection to the field of potentiality provides accurate and unlimited guidance every time, all the time. Every time you need it, it is there. And there is no end to how often you can need it and reach for it. Every time it is there, all the time, all the time. Psalm 23:1, this is the guiding scripture, and this brings it into a new light. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Spirit is everywhere evenly present. There is no spot where God is not. God is everywhere. So that means that my guidance is everywhere I am. I don't have to go into a church building in order to get access to the guidance that I need. I don't need to get into the lotus position in order to get what it is that I need. Everything that I need is right where I am, right as I am. I can reach into the field of potentiality and receive direction. And so if you remember, we were having a conversation last week about the seed that is built into the seeming problem. And that if you can get at the seed, you can plant the seed and then get the blessing, get the miracle that the seed in the problem came to bring. The Lord is my shepherd in that. I don't have to guess at, well, what part is the seed? Well, what's the good part that I'm supposed to plant that's going to now bring the miracle? It's not my job to figure that out. I can actually ask, hey, God, hey, so this thing that I got going on right here, there's something good about it because good is everywhere evenly present. So could you give us just a clue, an unmistakable, undebatable understanding of what it is I'm supposed to do with this thing? You can ask that. We got to change how we come at God. Inner guidance is constantly available. There's never a time, never has been, never will be when you can't get inner assistance for anything. It doesn't matter what it is, for anything. And honestly, relying on any other decision-making tool is honestly asking for trouble. Now, I want to lay some things out for you so that this makes sense. You are threefold in nature: your spirit, your soul, and you are body. Right? Spirit, that's the invisible part of you. This is the higher self. This is the Christ self. This is the you. This is your imagination, capital I. The soul is what we call the mind, the entire mind. The body is this physical thing, this thing that has dimension, that has weight, that you can perceive with your five senses. So your spirit, soul, and body. Soul, or entire mind in our language and New Thought, is also threefold in nature. So you as a being are threefold, and your mind is threefold. And those three components are subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. Now I'm going to share some definitions with you that are from the Revealing Word. So the subconscious is what we call the seat of the soul, or the memory. But this is what Fillmore writes. He says it's the memory mind. It is home. It is the home of our habits, the storehouse of our past thoughts and experiences. It carries on all the bodily functions such as circulation, breathing, digestion, and so forth. We are not conscious of what goes on in these processes, but divine intelligence works perfectly in all of them unless we interfere through ignorant thinking. Now, superconscious. Superconscious is your Christ mind. This is the part of you that is always connected to spirit. Always, always, always. No matter where you have been, no matter how low you have sunk, no matter how deep the depression you may find yourself in, there is always a part of you that is connected to all there is, that is connected to God. This is what Fillmore writes. He says, the superconsciousness is our only sure guide through the maze of the creative process. By trusting to the infallibility of this guide, we open ourselves to the inspiration of the Almighty. Conscious mind. The conscious phase of mind, sometimes called consciousness, right? The conscious phase of mind, this is the mind that makes you know your mental operation and your states of consciousness. This is it's the seat of awareness. It's the things that you're present to. What are you present to? Are you present to the temperature in the room? Are you present to the feel of the clothes that you have on against your body? Are you present to the things that your eyes are seeing on the screen or in the room that you're in? What are you present to? This is what the conscious mind is doing. It is the phase of mind at which you are actively aware of your thoughts, of your feelings, and of your surroundings. So It's not, and it may be conscious of past things as well, but again, you got to direct the attention there. So it's the attention, right? It's the mind through which you establish your identity. Here's what I want you to get about these three phases of mind. I want to dial in on the conscious phase of mind, because this is the area where we get in trouble. I want you to understand the purpose of the conscious phase of mind. The conscious mind was designed to do only two things. Only two things. I know those of you that are in teacher training and that have gone through the teacher training, this is going to really rattle your noodle, but just go with me. The conscious mind was designed to identify problems and to formulate goals. That's it. Anyone that is harnessing the mind, the conscious phase of mind properly, would use it to define the problem, set the intention, and then jump back jack. That's it. That's all the conscious mind is good for. Planting seeds. Oh, I hope you're hearing this, because if you get this, you got this. Instead, what happens is that the conscious mind gets involved. It starts to weigh the pros and the cons. It starts to come to rational decisions. And no sooner does the conscious mind define the problem or set the intention than it begins to the yammer, the on and on about how big the problem is and why it's not likely to get solved anytime soon, and how that intention sounds cool, but whoo, you know, I've been there, done that, and it sure as heck didn't pan out the last time. Suffice it to say, this spin doctor, your conscious phase of mind, is not your best resource. It judges, it distorts reality, and it causes unnecessary emotional distress. The purpose is just to identify problems, formulate goals. That's it. You want to learn to make decisions from the heart. Allowing the conscious mind to make decisions is like taking a pair of fingernail clippers and going outside to cut your lawn. Now, I laugh because I grew up cutting the lawn, and we didn't have the driving lawnmower. We had the push lawnmower, and we'd have to get out there on the weekends and cut that grass. And we were sitting on a half acre of land, so we were just out there. And I swear to God, and now there were three of us, and so I had a part, my sister had a part, and my brother had a part. But don't you know, they didn't ever do their parts. And so I had to step in and do their parts. So imagine trying to get out and cut your grass with a pair of fingernail clippers. It's a fruitless exercise. And I'm telling you that your conscious mind getting out there and trying to solve a problem is like trying to cut your grass with a pair of fingernail clippers. It don't make no sense. See, let's say you use your conscious mind to set the intention of improving your health. Perfect. Great. Stop right there. But of course, instead of pulling back and letting that intention flower and listening for divine guidance, instead of putting the conscious mind on the shelf and turning to the source that could really give you the exact plan, we get involved, start creating rational conclusions, right? And we start considering options. Well, I could try this. Well, I could try that. And from there, you get this cacophony of voices in your head that I wish I could tell you it played like a symphony, but really it sounds like a band of high school students just learning to play instruments, talking about they're going to start a band and they in your mom's garage practicing. Here's what happens. You set the intention, but then that conscious mind starts speaking. My health has always been a problem. It's too late for me to turn this around. Oh, it's going to be too hard for me to make the changes necessary. I just can't figure this out. I'll never get what I want. The conscious mind starts interpreting. And the problem is the conscious mind is thinking at the level that created the problem. So the conscious mind is never going to be your best resource for getting out of the problem. You can't solve the problem at the level of thinking that caused the problem. Put the fingernail clippers away and get out a better tool, which is your inner guidance. And so I got 3 things I want to leave with you today. The first is I want to dig a little bit more into the purpose of the conscious phase of mind. The second is I want to talk about taking your inner guidance off the do not call list. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. And the third is to try the spirit. So point number 1, the purpose of the conscious phase of mind is to identify problems and formulate goals. You want to teach your conscious phase of mind to stay in its lane. Harmony comes when everybody plays their part. Every phase of mind has its purpose. The conscious phase of mind has 2 purposes. Figure out the problem that's there and set the intention for the solution. That's it. I got this so clearly when I was working in the entertainment industry, this idea of everything having a lane and being responsible for a lane. So one of my first big jobs in entertainment, I worked on a film called Biker Boys, and I worked in the production office. And we were the office that disseminated information. So people came to us. So all of the communication flowed through our office. If there was anything, if you needed the production schedule, if you needed to know the call time, if you needed your paperwork to get started as an employee on the film, if you needed to get your paycheck, whatever, all of that flowed through the production office. There were different input points, though, where information came in. And one of the things that I learned is that when it comes to the production schedule, only the first AD or first assistant director or the assistant director department establishes the production schedule. So if you came to the production office and you said, hey, can I get the schedule for tomorrow? If I haven't gotten it from the assistant director department, then I cannot give it to you. And one of the big kerfuffles that came up in this production was somebody in our office, maybe it was me, passing on the schedule for the next day, but it had not been given to us yet from the assistant director department. And so what I learned through that process, which was not fun going through it at the time, was that because the ADs had the up to the minute information, they were aware of the footage that had been captured on that day. So they knew where we were in the schedule. They knew if we were on time with our schedule, if we were ahead on our schedule, or if we had to make room in the next day to get some additional scenes in the shot. And so they built the schedule based on what happened on set that day. And because they were there, they've got the most up-to-date information, not us in the production office. We're just the disseminator of information. And so I had to learn to not speak out of turn, to not give information that was not mine to give. You know, one of the things about films is that it's one of the only art forms where you need an army to accomplish it. There are hundreds of people, at least dozens on some film sets, but as you get bigger and bigger budgets, you have hundreds that are helping to bring the whole thing together. And when you get a cohesive unit where everybody is playing their role, the whole thing flows with grace and ease. And so it's the same thing with the functioning of your entire mind. And again, to give you those 3 parts, the superconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious. The purpose of the conscious: formulate goals, set intentions for a preferred future. That's your own thing. Identify problems and formulate goals. That's your only purpose. The conscious mind is overstepping its boundaries when it begins to try to solve the problem, because the conscious mind is the present level of thinking. So if the problem is there, the conscious mind is one of the problem creators. And so it has to be put on the shelf so that the superconscious mind can impress the subconscious phase of mind, out of which flow the issues of the heart, right? Out of which flow. It is through the subconscious phase of mind that your life, world, and affairs become manifested. Are you following me? Is this resonating? Put a 1 in the chat if you're understanding so I can see it and I can answer any questions that you might have. If it's not making sense, say it, because this we want to get. Because so many of the problems that we have in our experience come from us operating out of order. We're going to the wrong source for the information that we need in order to create the life that we desire. So the conscious phase of mind is there to just identify the problem and to choose or to select or to set an intention for a preferred future. That's it. And now it's time for the subconscious, for us to open up, for us to bring this conscious mind out of the way so that the subconscious mind can be impressed by the spirit or by the Christ mind. And what we desire can now flow into manifestation because it's going to come out of the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, part of why it's ill-equipped is that it's bound by time and space. That's the large part. It's bound by time and space. So it can't draw a conclusion because it can't see beyond the present boundaries in our lives. Every conclusion that it draws is going to be based on what exists. Every conclusion that the conscious phase of mind draws is going to be based on what is already manifest. And remember, you're here to bring what has never been manifest. You're here to bring good into expression. So only the superconscious and subconscious mind working in tandem can see farther than your present circumstances. And so this brings me to point number 2, which is you got to take your inner guidance off the do not call list. We have so many reasons why we don't ask for help. Sometimes we forget to ask for help. We're in the middle of some kind of crisis and we forgot that we are tapped into all there is, and stop trying to solve it. God has the answer. Ask for help. Sometimes we think that it's weak to ask for help. One of the things that I don't know if I could say regret, but definitely I would do differently. When I was in college, I needed tutors. I really did. I needed tutors. I had all of those engineering classes, all those science classes. I needed somebody there helping me sort through this. But I had this belief that tutors were for people that weren't smart. That's how I thought about tutors. It's not true, but that's how I thought about tutors. And so I never asked for help because I would have had to define myself as not smart in order to ask for help. Sometimes we think that it's weak to ask for help, right? That there's a badge of honor that I did it on my own. And that's not how this universe is organized. We're each dependent on one another, and we're all dependent on spirit. We don't know that we can ask for help. Sometimes we're going through something and we don't even know that we can ask for help. We don't feel worthy of help. That's a big one. That's a big one. We don't feel worthy of help. And so we'll take on all this stuff when asking for help is the best choice that you can make. We don't know what help to ask for. You know, sometimes we're afraid to ask for help. There's so many reasons that we take on things that really aren't ours to take on. But I want you to get that it's yours. Inner guidance can come in any package that you are open enough to hear. I want you to let go of the belief that inner guidance is restricted to a lucky or a chosen few. Because unfortunately, most of us have restricted the guidance that we'll let in. We've decided that neon signs, telegrams, and sealed letters from God are okay, but then everything else is, just a little bit too frightening. You want to be open to the flow of spirit. Open, whatever way spirit wants to come through. Michael Beckwith tells the story of looking up at a windmill one day. This is before he became a minister, and he wasn't completely convinced of his decision to pursue a godly calling, and he didn't know if that was the right thing for him. And so he said point blank, look, God, if you're listening, if this is really, really, really what you want from me, have that windmill point in my direction. Even though it was a windy day and the windmill was spinning very fast in the other direction, no sooner did he say that than the windmill stopped and rotating on its normal axis and pointed straight at him. You have to be open to Spirit. Spirit will communicate to you in a non-debatable way. But you have to ask, give me a communication, Spirit, so that I know that this is the direction that you want me to move in. Make it so plain that I'm not mistaking it, that I'm not guessing whether or not this is the direction that you want me to move in. You can ask for that. And I'm willing to receive it in whatever way you give it. You can ask for that. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Spirit desires to speak through you, to you, to give you everything that you need. One of my favorite quotes comes from William Blake. He says, eternity is in love with the creations of time. Every time, eternity being synonymous for God, capital E. Every time you open your heart and your mind to allow the flow of Spirit, the Spirit gets another pair of hands and another pair of feet to express through. Eternity is in love. When you open up, God's like, yes, I get another soul to flow through in a greater way. Eternity is in love with the creations of time. And so point number 3, this is the action point, y'all. Try the Spirit. Put this on his feet. I want you right now to pick a problem. Pick something that you're dealing with that's been troubling you, that you really want an answer to. And I want you to pick something that has a yes or a no answer. And it's something that you may be confused about or you don't know which way to go, but a yes or a no answer. And it really doesn't matter what it is. And I want you to look at your watch or however you keep your time. And I want you to make note of the time. And then I want you to ask for help. I want you to ask for a clear, non-debatable answer. And ask for it to show up within 48 hours. It might show up immediately. It might take only a day, but within 48 hours, you shall have an answer, and you should expect to have a neon sign of an answer. Set the intention. Remember, your only job is to identify the problem, set the intention for the solution. Spirit will do the rest. Don't be afraid to give God a deadline. Don't be afraid to give God a deadline. Isaiah 46:10, not Psalms. Isaiah 46:10 says, concerning the works of my hands, you command me. Concerning the works of my hands, you command me. It is okay to give God a deadline to respond to you. So what does that look like? God, I need to know, should I choose this person? Should I hire this company? Should I spend this money on this thing that I feel like I need? Ask a specific question, something that you want to know the answer to, and the Spirit will respond to you. I'll give you a test that I learned that it's a little bit, it's interesting because it worked out. It works out. But when something is true, your body is anchored and solid and strong. When something is not true, your body actually, your physical strength diminishes. And so you can put your fan, so two fans together like this, two fingers together like this, and you can put it here, and you can ask the spirit a question, and you want to hold it so that you can't pull it apart. And if you ask yourself a question and the answer is no, literally your hands will come apart. And if the answer is yes, you won't be able to separate it. Just try it. Try the spirit. Remember, it is nearer than your own breath. Spirit walks with me and talks with me and tells me that I am its own. Ask the question. Give God a deadline. So right now it's Sunday at whatever time this is happening, 1:30, 2:30, whatever time it is. God, I need to know, do I need to, or is this for me, or whatever your question is. And I need to know by Tuesday this time. And expect to get an answer. All right, let's review. Your connection to the field of potentiality provides accurate and unlimited guidance every time, all the time. Point number 1, the purpose of the conscious phase of mind is to identify problems and formulate goals. That's it. Point number 2, take your inner guidance off the no-call list. Be open to whatever way Spirit wants to speak to you. If it comes through a windmill flowing in your direction, or it comes through a scroll rolling down and communicating to you, or if it just comes as a letter that you didn't expect, however it gets to you, be open to it. Be open. And finally, try the Spirit. Put God to the test. Malachi 3:10, put God to the test. Either this thing works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't work, you may as well go on and believe something else. God bless you.
Open your mind. Open your mind to it. Open your mind. Open your mind through this. Then you will find it's a river into the sea. 'Cause open is me. And you. Dreams are made here, as big as you want them to be. Beyond your eyes can see. Whatever you're thinking, there's a link to God. Close your eyes and listen to the still small voice and go wider, higher, greater to expand. Open your mind, open your mind to it. Open your mind, open your mind through this. Then you will find it's a river
All right, family, it is time to support your spiritual center and help us take this message global. Made it so easy for you to support UPCHURCH. Contributions to our ministry can be made online. You can text UPCHURCH to 73256, or you can go to upchurch.org and click on the give button, or you can make your gift via Cash App. Our Cash App ID is $UPCHURCHLA. Or you can mail in your gift. And remember, we have a new mailing address, 3108 Glendale Boulevard, number 547, Los Angeles, 90039. We have come to share. Would you read along with me? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God. All right, let's back up that blessing with a declaration. We want to send this seed out with energy, enthusiasm, and expectancy. I am in the flow. I give generously and I receive abundantly. I am a massive giver and a gracious receiver. All right, family, let's have some announcements and then I'll be back to close us out.
UPCHURCH, I have a powerful announcement for you. It's time for our fall semester of spiritual education classes. This semester, we are featuring classes on the Bible. And so we have two powerful classes for you. On Tuesdays, we begin a new Bible series. So join us for Bible 1. This is an introduction to the Bible. Some of the most powerful stories ever told are in the Holy Bible. In these stories are formulas for overcoming your life challenges. Whether you've been reading these stories for years or if you've never picked up a Bible before, this workshop series will explore the stories in a new way and provide a framework for studying scripture and extracting what you need to win in your own life story. This class takes place on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Pacific. I would love to have you join this class. It's going to be very powerful. On Sundays, join us for the last class in our Bible series, Bible 6, which focuses on the New Testament metaphysical interpretation. This is the second part, and it is from Acts through Revelation. Learn the tools and techniques to find the deeper meaning in the scriptures in this hands-on metaphysical Bible study course. We will cover the metaphysical teachings of Jesus and focus on Acts through Revelation. John Downey III is teaching this class. You don't want to miss it. It takes place on Sundays from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be such a fun fall semester as we explore the Bible. And so I want to invite you to register today. Class registration is open. We have a seat for you. These classes are virtual. Classes begin on Sunday, September 18th, and you can register at upchurch.org. I can't wait to see you in class. Let's study the Bible together. Are you interested in living a life of increase, overflow, and more than enough? I know that we all want to continue to expand and to have more money in our lives so that we can do the fun things we want to do and take care of our responsibilities. The only thing between you and your money is your prosperity consciousness. And so we want to hit head on how to build a prosperity consciousness so that you can live in the overflow. I want to invite you to Worshiping in Color next Sunday. I want you to plan to be in person with us at UpChurch. We're going to have a powerful experience together, and I encourage you to come in person and bring some cash because we're going to have a special money blessing. So I want you to come prepared for this experience. Worshiping in Color is one of our special services. We raise money for the church. We basically come together as a community in fellowship. But the most important thing for this particular one is that we're going to break through some of those financial strongholds. We're going to break through some of those places where you just can't seem to get to that next level. I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some tools in order to do that special work within your soul, because we all deserve to live in the overflow. Won't you join us? 1 p.m. on Sunday, this coming Sunday, September 25th. We'd love to see you there.
Good afternoon, UpChurch. Today is the last day to sign up for your small group for Adventure in Faith. So if you haven't already done it, go ahead and click the link for the Google form. You will find it in the live chat. You will find it in the newsletter. You will find it in the show notes. And if you don't find it, email us upchurch@upchurch.org and we will send that link out to you. Please go ahead and complete that because we're going to start to break up the groups this week. And you want to make sure that your name is on the list so that you can get into the group of your choice. Adventure in Faith is our opportunity as a spiritual community to recommit ourselves to ourselves, to recommit ourselves to our spiritual community, to recommit ourselves to God. We're working with a powerful text by Florence Scovel Shinn called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And the theme is It's Your Move. It's your move. The ball is in your court. And it is your move right now that determines what the rest of your life appears to be. ready for a miracle? Are you ready for the life that God intended for you? I trust that you are. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone that had a hand in making today happen. Thank you for choosing to be a part of Understanding Principles. You are the best part of what it is that we do. I take this opportunity right now to bless you to be who God called you to be amazing, to be dynamic, to really lean into your divine potential. I love you. I thank God for you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Let's take our prayer for protection, and then we will gather for the after party. Would you read along with me? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. All right, family. See you soon.